A Montcalm County couple has lost their home.
It's all because the Department of Human Services failed to make promised emergency relief payments. Target 8 investigator Henry Erb has the story.
Barb and Dave Riggs met in the military. They even got married during Michigan National Guard summer camp in 1987. They owned their home in Lakeview free and clear since 2005, but now the Montcalm County treasurer owns it and plans to sell it in September for the back taxes.
I lost my job and I got behind on the taxes, and we've been trying to save this place.
Saving the place involved going to the Department of Human Services for emergency relief. They first heard about that from the state trooper who delivered their tax notice.
So I went to DHS and they agreed to pay $1,000 of it if I paid $113.
The state emergency relief decision notice says she had to go to the tax office, pay the $113, and bring the receipt to DHS as proof before DHS would pay what it promised.
I got the paperwork from her on February 9th. I went to the tax office right then that day, paid what I was supposed to pay, and turned it back into DHS. Well, that's where it got lost. So it didn't get paid.
She didn't know that until she got another letter about the tax sale. So she applied for DHS help again and was approved again. But by the time she got the notice and went to pay another $60 to the treasurer, it was 2 days too late. The tax deadline had passed. Montcalm County had taken her house.
It makes me really angry. It does. Because I don't understand why.
It's not easy to find out why it happened. Riggs says that DHS at first told her it didn't have the receipt. She says that she turned in the day she paid her share, so it didn't pay. But then a few weeks ago, she says a veterans assistance worker heard from DHS that it did have the receipt and that her caseworker had gone on extended medical leave about the time she turned it in. DHS won't talk to us about it because state law requires client confidentiality. But even when we emailed a general question, did Montcalm DHS in the last year mistakenly fail to make an emergency payment of any kind, we still did not get a direct answer. DHS won't say whether or not it made a mistake. If an error is brought to our attention, DHS says in an email, we do everything possible to rectify it.
This is the first year we've had the problem like this.
Marcia Sauty is the Montcalm County treasurer who now owns the Riggs home and will auction it off in September. She says the same thing happened to one other Montcalm County resident in addition to the Riggs.
Always before we've known when DHS had a parcel or a property or someone that they're helping, they would let us know and then we would work with them. But these, I had no idea.
The treasurer says there is nothing she can do to help. She has to follow state law. She says she expects 100+ bidders at the September 8th auction of 60 properties. The Riggs have already talked to one potential buyer who says he would rent the property back to them, but it'll depend on how much he has to pay for it and whether the Riggs can afford the rent. Barb recently got a new job, but it doesn't pay much. They've also asked a lawyer to look into it.
We're just going to try or do our best, I guess.
I'm Target 8 investigator Henry Erb.